Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And I've often wondered if you were just starting out in the Milwaukee ecosystem, if it would be better to start with the M18s or the M12s. Right now these are the two largest batteries, I believe, for each. This is the 12 amp hour M18 and this is the 6 amp hour M12. Now the reason I'm asking that question is because if you take a look at particular tool directions with both M18, say, and M12, say like here's a M18 and the M12, both of these are excellent. This one obviously has more power and more depth, but this one does an awful lot. So if you were a DIYer, I don't think you'd have any problem, you know, doing most things. Depends on what it is, you know, these will cut 2x4s, but the M12, it's a lot lighter, it's smaller, it's simpler in terms of, you know, maneuvering it around, moving it. It's just a real joy to use. So in this case, if you don't have a lot of big construction projects, you know, the M12 is, I think, plenty. If we took a look at the Jigsaws, you know, say this one's the M18 over here, and this one's the M12. This one weighs a ton. It's got a lot of cool features. It's really a pretty amazing saw. But this guy here is just for general use, absolutely fine. It's not the fuel one like this one is, but it definitely performs quite well. I don't know in the long run how long it'll last, but I have no trouble doing an awful lot of jobs with that. But I find that, you know, if there's big stuff, I use this, but I probably don't have to. If I was looking at smaller saws, like this one, here's the Sawzall type. This one's the Hacksaw. I don't think they make a Sawzall style in the M12 yet. So these are both the Hacksaws. And this little guy here, it's a powerhouse. Does a lot of stuff. This one feels a lot stronger, but I'm not sure you need the strength for a lot of jobs. I have a Sawzall as well that I could go to. If I was, you know, doing, you know, some decon, serious decon, I might want more power, but this little guy here, it's a rocket. It does great. Simple stuff. If I went with lighting, and actually in this case the M12 does all I need, you know, if we're dealing with this kind of a light. This M12 here, very similar in operation and shape and size. M18's a little brighter, but if that little bit doesn't make a big difference, you know, this is a great light. They both last a long time. Obviously, I could throw a larger battery on this guy and really run it for a long time, but this guy here does great. So, you know, another M12 win. Where I think there's a big difference, though, is probably in that key product, and that has to do with the drills. So I've got two fuel drills here, an M12 and an M18. This M18 just kicks the heck out of this thing. In fact, the startup on this is kind of comical. You can see that. You have to let it think about it versus this guy is a monster. So unfortunately, a lot of people start out with the drill as their entry into the cordless tools, and the M18 drill just knocks it out of the park. This one's a good, useful drill, but boy, it's frustrating, especially when you have to, you know, sit there with your cup of coffee waiting for it to spin up. When you could be, you know, it just, and size, shape, you know, they're not terribly different. So this is just an amazing drill. This one here is a sluggish afterthought. But if you start looking at all the rest of the tools, what happens? The M12s are great. I have no hesitation with all of the M12 tools, but I know that in the gateway drug to that, you know, the cordless tools, meaning the drill, that the M12 is not very high performer. Impact's a little bit different, but in the drill space, that might be the deal breaker right there, because that's probably the most heavily used tool. Anyway, I'm curious what you think. So with that, Doc out.